Recently, I did a video about an officer in Mesa, Arizona that shot an innocent man, shot an unarmed man that wasn't really committing any crime with his AR-15 and how he's now facing charges because of that act. Now, the original video I did dealt more with the fact that that gun was modified. It had a special dust cover on it with a saying on it, and they were using that against him in court, so I talked about modifying weapons. But tonight I want to talk about the actual shooting itself and the victim of that shooting, Daniel Shaver. And the reason I want to talk about this in more depth is because I think this is a perfect illustration of two really big problems facing people in this country today. The first problem is this irrational fear that people have of firearms and how they're being taught that whenever you see a gun, it's probably a deadly situation, so you need to call the cops. That's ridiculous and it's dangerous. These anti-gun idiots that tell these people this are getting innocent people killed. And they should be charged when innocent people get killed if they make these reports on purpose. Because we see online all the time on Facebook, etc., these people saying, hey, if you see someone that's even legally carrying concealed, well, call the police and say you're in fear for your life so they'll come and harass them. Well, that's getting people killed, and I think those people should be prosecuted. The events that led up to Daniel Shaver being shot is some people in a pool thought they saw a firearm in a guy's hand inside a hotel room through a window up on the second or third floor. That is a ridiculous thing to call the police about. They're in their hotel room, you think you see a firearm, so you're going to call the police? That's ridiculous. Since when did Americans become such skittish little cowards that are afraid of everything and feel like they got to go tell the police every time they see anything at all that they think might be dangerous? How about waiting till you see something that's actually dangerous before you overreact and start acting like a bunch of little pussies? I hate this whole mentality. I hate this whole culture of fear that we live in. If I see someone walking down the street with a gun in a holster, my thought isn't, oh, he's going to go kill someone. My thought is, there's the guy who's ready to protect himself. Because I'm not a fearful little coward. I'm not some scared little lapdog that the government has cultivated civilians into these days that has to panic and call Big Daddy government to come protect me whenever I see anything that might be the least bit frightening. That is the number one issue I have with this situation, that people actually called that in and police actually responded to it. And the police responding to it gets me to the second part of this that I have a problem with. I am so sick of everyday police officers acting like every call they get is a scene from Serpico and they're going to be in a shootout with a bunch of drug lords. This desire for police officers to be soldiers or SWAT members even when they're just regular routine police officers, it's one of the things that's wrong with this country. This whole militarization of police is destroying our country. It's making it a very unsafe place for you to live and me to live. The only people that are safe are the police. And that's ironic because their job is supposed to be dangerous by definition. They chose a dangerous profession. But it seems like nowadays they have eliminated all the danger from their profession and shifted it onto the innocent civilians. And they'll say, well, we have to be able to make every situation as safe as possible. We have to make it safe for us. Well, you can't make every situation safe. Your job isn't safe. And you can't do that if you're endangering innocent people. If you're endangering innocent people, you're not doing your job right. And you have to be able to use some judgment. If you get a call like this and nothing's happening and no one else is calling in and this isn't a situation that seems like it's trouble, then stop acting like it's trouble when you get there. Why would you have multiple officers with ARs on a stupid call like this? It's like the old saying that says, if all you have is a hammer, you see every problem as a nail. And these guys think of themselves as the hammer, and they think everybody else is a nail, and they're ready to come around and hammer them down. It's like they go in looking for a fight. And when you go in looking for a fight, who's surprised when you act like you're in one, whether you are or you aren't? This guy was in a hotel room with friends, and they did have a BB gun, but some people outside call into the police. The police show up in force, like I say, like it's Serpico, and then they end up killing an innocent man while he's crawling on his hands and knees as they ordered him to, because, like I said, they think they're the hammer and they think he's a nail. Now, some people might find this video a little odd because they think, oh, you're just a protector of the police. You're a sympathizer of police. No, just because I think some old redneck that went on TV and said, I'm going to kill me some policemen if they try to arrest me, just because I think he got what he deserved when he got out of a truck and acted like an idiot who was either too stubborn or too stupid to lay down when people had him under fire, well, just because I can say that guy was wrong doesn't mean I support the police all the time. I'm so sick of these tiny little insecure men, and if you see this guy that did the shooting, you'll know what I'm talking about, that go off to the police academy and then come out thinking they're some kind of stormtrooper that's out to wipe out all the scum that they come across. That's not your job, and that shouldn't be your attitude. If that is your attitude, you don't need to be in law enforcement. We live in a country now where more people that are innocent are killed by police every year than police officers get killed doing their duty, by far. And that's not right. Like I said, the police are the ones that's supposed to have the dangerous job. It's not supposed to be dangerous to us. It's supposed to be dangerous to them. And they almost never get prosecuted. Almost never. Even when there's body camera footage or camera footage from somebody else, well, then they'll look into it and not really do anything. But when there's no footage from somebody outside the department, they won't even look into it. So for every time you hear about someone getting murdered by the police, there's probably dozens, if not hundreds of times that you don't hear about it because no one says a word or does anything. I mean, look at this Daniel Shaver guy. Are you seeing this on the news? Are you seeing some people stand up and go, like Shaver Lives Matters or whatever? No, because they're just like, just some guy got shot by the police again. Happens every day. It shouldn't happen every day. And it definitely shouldn't happen to someone who has no history of being a criminal, who did nothing wrong, and then was gunned down in cold blood by the police. That shouldn't happen every day. It shouldn't happen ever. When police fire on someone with no just cause, that shouldn't just be something we write off. That should be something we see as a symptom of a really big problem. So the point of this video is, most people out there, the civilians, stop being pussies. Stop being so frightened of guns. Stop acting like every time you see a gun, that's just reason to think someone's doing something wrong just because they own a firearm. And to the police, stop thinking you're stormtroopers. Stop thinking you're the saviors of mankind, that you're some sort of protectors. You're not our protectors. You're there to defend the law. You're there to keep law and order. You're not to go out and punish bad guys. That's not your job. If you want to punish bad guys, either do one of two things: sit on a jury or become a judge. But as a law enforcement officer, you're just supposed to enforce the law. And yes, your job is going to come with a little bit of danger. And I support any police officer doing reasonable things to make sure they limit that danger as much as possible. But you don't get to limit it by just preemptively killing people that didn't do anything wrong.